This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got really outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up to him!
Oh my god! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get rolled!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, here we go!
Oh no! That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?
For many in Australia, there is no week more exciting, more drama-filled, and more engaging than Bathurst Week. It is the motorsport event that stops the nation, and here at SimSpeed TV, we kick off 2020's Bathurst 1000 Week with Just Send It. Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Mount Panorama for week number 5 of the Just Send It series, brought to you by Logitech G, Custom Track Art, and Own 3D Stream Designs. Tonight, we face 174 meters of elevation change across 6.2 kilometers of historical racetrack in a baby prototype like no other, the completely bonkers Radical SR8. I'm the driver that can't make it out of turn 2 without spinning, Bo Albert, and alongside me tonight, I have Mr. Jay Kennedy on commentary and on cameras tonight as well, pulling double duty. Jay, last time we had Bathurst on the Just Send It calendar, it ended with perhaps the most dramatic final lap showdown we have seen in series history. What can we expect tonight?
Carnage, looking at the practice at the moment. They're going to be a very, very interesting race as our track map zooms into a place that needs no introduction. And I find it funny that you didn't mention that I've finished more Bathurst 1000 races than you both. Don't want to bring that up.
Well, I did finish in a higher place, if I may say so, Jay, but...
Well, hey. All about finishing at the end of the day. No one remembers anything other than the winner.
Oh, it's true. It is true. And finishing is definitely a challenge around this circuit. Walls lining every single corner, especially the run across the top of the mountain, which in these cars is scary fast. We're looking at average speeds across the top of the mountain at over 210 kilometers an hour, some peaking around the 220 range as well. So these drivers are really flying around this circuit. And this car is a very interesting combination, given that it is so high downforce.
Yeah, it's a crazy car, as you said, completely bonkers, but of course now this is free content as well, so a lot more people have access to this car, which means that people are probably a little bit more familiar with it than what they have been previously. Blake Purdy just gives Cooper Webster a little bit of a shunt, but have a look at these speeds down the bottom there. Coming up to McPhillamy Park and changing from 5th to 6th over the rise at 230 k's an hour. That is crazy.
It's ridiculous, and also the run down the hill is very fast as well. You can see a big checkup, and that was a little more than a checkup there as the two go for an enormous shunt. And if that's the only rollover you think you're going to see tonight, you're in for quite a surprise, as drivers are lapping below the 2-minute mark in some cases, so very, very fast lap times indeed. And also, I've been told as well from my Altus teammates that especially coming down the mountain, these cars are very sketchy. They are prone to oversteer, and at every moment are trying to snap away on the driver. So these drivers are in for quite a long challenge, over 40 minutes, and we don't know if there's going to be a pit stop needed at all. We don't know if there's going to be a safety car as well, as I think I've just seen some drivers literally die at turn number 2. There's been an absolutely monumental shunt, and they're not walking away from that one.
Oh, yes. Christian Limbom just gets a bit of I don't know what you'd say, that a bit of gymnastics practice, I guess you'd say, with how he just got shunted there. But we're going to see some carnage, but I think the racing, once we get going, is going to be absolutely brilliant. Looking forward to it. Here is the grid with around about 40-odd drivers making the field tonight.
Absolutely. It's a really big field, and it is all led away from Cooper Webster and Jordan Caruso, the Altus 1-2 on the grid. But close behind, they've got Josh Perwin, a great qualifying from him. Brenton Hobson in 4th, and Ross Rizzo gets a top 5 as well. Of course, won a race not too long ago indeed. Emerson Harvey kicks things off from the 3rd row of the grid ahead of Christian Lindbaum. Ryan Wood, keep an eye out on him. Luke Annette and Matt Lapino in the top 10.
Got Byron Phillips and Kobe Williams on row 6 with Daniel Yeaman and Jackson Rihanna. Reese Cohen and Ryan Shooter with Marcelo Rivera and Chris Owen on row 9. Mitchell McLeod a little bit further back than what he would like on row 10 alongside Sean Malloy.
Andy Carey kicks things off from 21st, ahead of Jay Cool, Cameron Gall, Jordan Ford, and Tyler Howard, the top 25 cars. As you can see, it is a big field here tonight. Jonathan Bykoff from position number 26, Aidan Brandon 27th, Dylan DeBono, Eddie Beswick, and Matt Hansford-Taylor, your top 30. We'll get the rest of the cars scrolling on through the screen. As you can see, there is plenty of cars indeed, and it's going to be a double file start, a rolling start as well. The drivers are now just making their way downhill, and already the Altus teammates push and shove their way against one another, causing contact. They had a bit of a rivalry brewing. Cooper and Jordan, they're first and second on the grid here, but they're in for a challenge, and already the bumpers are coming out. Almost spun is Jordan Caruso, and the green flag is not yet dropped. Look out for the Altus teammates, though. They might wear the same colors, but absolutely, they are in it for victory, and are going to battle against one another as the Porsche iRacing safety car pulls off, and the field is in control of Cooper Webster. When does he pin the throttle? That is entirely up to him. Through the final corner, and the speed will rise, and the clutches have dropped. It is lights out, and away we go for 40 minutes here at Mount Panorama, and the field goes bottling their way into Hell Corner. It's a hard braking zone. Who will make it out alive? We don't quite know. The answer is not one of our drivers. A chrome car goes around, mass carnage, multiple involved. One has been sent into orbit in an absolute stratospheric attempt, and drivers are just completely all over the road at turn number 1, still spinning as the leaders work their way out. Wow, that's... I've seen many things. That's not one of them. That was 3 cars doing a pretty synchronized cartwheel, I think, Jay.
Yeah, that was just crazy. Oh no, it's happening again. It's happening again. And I think you feel safe that it's happened at Griffin's Bend. You're not out on track, so it's sort of okay. That is the 26th car there of... Well, Josh Pervine actually, just from up near the front spun as well, so... He was right near the front. We need to see what's happened to him. He was right in that lead group.
Absolutely qualified third. Oh, whoa, that was a different incident altogether. We'll have to go slightly back on this because that is a major impact for Josh Perwin.
He was in second at that point.
A very good start indeed. Of course, the long slipstream up down Mountain Straight would have helped him out massively. Now, comes across the rise here and he's done it all by him. That's an odd one. The car's got loose there. He's jumped on the brakes to try and correct the car, and it's just got away from him in a really big way.
And Emerson Harvey's decided to go and check out the flora and fauna on the other side of the fence, and what this has done, Cooper Webster's now up to a 2.5 second lead, nearly 3 second lead.
Absolutely. He has bolted. One driver that hasn't been able to, though, is Jordan Caruso, who has the drivers of Ryan Wood. What a start that is from our championship leader. That was an amazing start there for Ryan, who is currently holding off Brenton Hobson in position number 4 right now. And that is a great start from Ryan as he makes his way through. Christian Lindbaum up to 5th as well. Some big moves and shakers.
Yeah, some really big movers. On the first lap, Reese Howe currently P13. He is plus 20 positions after lap 1. Also up 22 positions, Jaden Russell in P15. Some huge movers in this race already.
Yes, indeed. So for some of our drivers down the field, it's just about damage limitation. And we can have safety cars in this series, but nothing has been called just yet. So a lot of our drivers will have to just carry damage for a few more laps or pit early to see if they can get that repaired. But right now, there's a few little good scraps going on. Marcelo Rivera trying to find a way past Jay Cool at the moment for positions 11 and 12. Almost side by side through the cutting, almost contact. A very brave move from Kobe Williams, threads the needles and gets a move done on Reese Howe. So that was a very aggressive move from the All Chrome Radical, but makes it stick as they fire their way now across the top of the hill. And Marcello just pulling out to try and get a little bit of a look on the driver in front of Jay Cool. Not able to do anything though. There's no real passing opportunities across the entire top of the mountain. And you can see there, Kobe Williams is getting very aggressive. He wants to make moves now.
He's wanting to get a move sorted as quick as he can to work his way forward, but not easy to do with how tight this pack is. And as you said, the cars do tend to have a little bit of a behaviour difference when they're in some drafts. So you're getting yourself in a big battle pack like this as Williams just clips the wall. Get yourself in a big battle pack like this, it makes it even harder to make passes. You almost want to be in a 2-car group. If you get yourself into these big 6, 7, 8-car groups, you're going to find yourself in big trouble. As our second place in the championship, Mitchell McLeod has just come under some issues as well.
Mitchell McLeod, what has happened there? Down the hill, clips the curb.
Oh, someone was already spun.
Yeah, there was a car already spun, and Mitch, unfortunately, multiple cars just trying to avoid the spun driver there. Sadly, got collected in their own incident. We'll see if we can find out who exactly that was, but Ryan Shooter not having any better luck there as he finds himself unstuck at Forest Elbow. But that was a big incident there with lots of drivers just trying to avoid one another. And sadly, there wasn't enough room because down the hill, it's just concrete either side. You can't just spear out of the way of a spun driver.
Exactly right, and we'll hopefully see who it is right here with the replay. Bike. We're already spun at that point. There we go, Jaden Russell.
Just started reversing at the exact wrong point as well, sadly for Jane Russell, and collected Mitch McLeod. In that situation, it's tough as a driver. You want to get going as soon as you can to limit the amount of time you're going to lose, but sometimes you just have to hold the brakes, and sadly it wasn't to be as Kobe Williams finds himself being one of the most early pit stop takers of all, as Jordan Caruso finds himself with a big train of cars behind. Brenton Hobson and Christian Lindbaum closing in on these guys as well. So Caruso not quite got the time gains he would like right now. That said, was actually 6/10 faster than your race leader last lap around. So Caruso, he's bringing a train with him, but still got plenty of pace on him.
Can I just say how nice that livery, nice in hyphenated, that livery is of Christian Lindbaum's. Is definitely a surprise to see Barbie out on track, but he scrubs up alright on a radical.
Absolutely. I'm sure you've played with a couple of them in your childhood, Jay.
I mean, what are you talking about?
No, of course not. No,
just,
never.
Just get away from that. Nick Graham, who was going to jump in the booth tonight, but actually did alright in qualifying. Started 40th. He got himself up into the top 20s. But that wasn't the preferred line coming through. Oh, watch out! 26 car. Oh,
I mean,
that's huge.
The new Tony Hawk game did come out recently, but Cody is taking it to a slightly extreme situation there. We'll have to see what's actually going on here, because there was a number of cars off, not just Nick Scarry. You'll see in the background as well that more cars were firing off. And McPhillum, you can see a big one in the background there. So clearly some weird stuff is going on in Just Send at the moment. We saw multiple cars spinning at Watkins Glen yesterday, but look at Cody Brzezinski, who just goes for a massive shunt. It was a little opportunistic in trying to get through a yellow flag situation. And I think this is going to be a very scary onboard from this perspective.
Yeah, close your eyes, get your spew bag ready. Oh no, this is going to be messy. You can tell straight away, and just hunt to pass the 43 car there. That's Ian Qua, who hasn't had much luck in this series, has Ian Qua, so he finds himself in a little bit of trouble as we come back live to this battle at the front. I mean, I'm glad that we're watching this as part of Just Send It, not a legitimate race, because I don't think there'd be too many happy people out there. But the fact that Just Send It, you almost expect it, you almost understand it. It's part of it. Just notice on the timing that Christian Lindbaum decided to get out of that draft, bring himself into the pits. He's now got clear track ahead, 10 seconds ahead. Here's the lead car that has made his pit stop.
And it's a bit of an odd call, isn't it? Because in some ways, you want to make sure you're staying with the leaders, getting that draft, and being very, very fast in that draft. But if a safety car comes out right here, right now, all the drivers that were in front of him are in a very bad spot, and he's in a very good spot. So it's very much just gambling with your cards there as Christian Lindbaum on whether or not he decides to go for pace. And oh boy, that is way too many cars wide, and they're almost going to pull it off somehow. That is incredible stuff, and Tyler Howard with a great exit gets past Luke Annette as well, and Sean Malloy might have a little bit of a look up the inside as well. That is very late on the brakes. Does he avoid contact? He does. So Sean Malloy making some good moves as well, as this battle is very feisty, pushed to the pit wall. They're not giving each other any room. 3 wide into held corner, and it was actually the car in the middle that came out best.
Yeah, Luke Annette got the spot back. I must say, shout out to Luke Annette. Luke Annette is the first person I met as part of sim racing, outside of family or friends that I knew beforehand. Met Luke, he brought his motion rig to Head of Suspension in Bendigo in 2011. Did my first ever go on motion on iRacing in 2011 with Luke's rig. So how's that for a blast from the past?
That's very cool, and it shows just how long some of these drivers have been sim racing, and also the history some of them have also built up as well, which is very, very cool, and something we don't hear about too often, especially when you get some new drivers like the likes of Cooper Webster and Jordan Caruso, who are still in their first 2 or 3 years on the sim, and some other drivers who are only a couple of months into sim racing as well. The experience oftentimes doesn't matter. It's just about the drivers having fun on track and enjoying sim racing, and I think that's a big reason of why we love it. But right now, one thing to note is Jordan Caruso is hunting down your race leader Cooper Webster by the form of almost 7/10 last lap around. The gap down to 1.4 seconds, but someone else again coming out unstuck down the mountain. I think that's going to be Jay Cool. You can see smoke in front of him, and that's just a bit of a trait of the Radical, I think, and he gets a little twitchy, more twitches, too many twitches, and in the end, the car just twitches its way into a barrier one too many times.
And he was right behind that pack of Annette and Malloy there as well, so he was right in that battle and lost 2 spots from that spin. Good rotation, gets back going again, loses 2 spots. He'll push on, and as we've said many, many times, and we say every single week, we don't know what's going to happen with safety cars. We all anticipate that there'll be one, but we don't know. If you can get your magic ball out and predict when it will happen, you could play yourself right into a victory as Marcelo Rivera decides he wants to come in. It's going to be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Christian Limbom, who was the first car that is pitted. So Reese Howe finds himself in a bit of a tough spot there.
Yeah, it's not the place you want to be at Mount Panorama. We'll get another replay up on screen.
Oh, he hit the outside wall. Sure, he hit the outside wall there and it's bumped him around.
Might get another look on that. We'll see exactly what we can see with Reese Howell, and it's going to be very close. It's hard to tell from that camera angle, but potentially Reese Howell clipping the inside wall, almost Chaz Mostert spec, just a couple of meters down the road, but sadly, the end result is much the same, and Reese Howell finds himself in pit lane and potentially out of this race as well, so that is not ideal at all. But we'll go back up to the front of your pack, because the top 3 and 4, and sadly not quite top 5, but it is the top 4 cars, have now found themselves very close proximity to one another. And for, I think, the first time in this race, Jordan Caruso is in the slipstream of Cooper Webster, who gives the wall just a little touch. And I've just heard him on voice chat as well, ha-ha, to his teammates, so the gloves are off.
Now, I saw you sent me a little picture showing the rivalry between these two, which is very good. They both want to claim that they're no longer friends with each other, regardless of who punts who tonight. So Jordan's not happy that he's ended up being the victim of Cooper's almost all accidental punts, and Jordan's probably going to try and give one back tonight. Wouldn't be surprised to see a punt to pass on the final lap or two, just because it's his teammate ahead.
It's funny you say accidental punt. I've seen their telemetry. I know all the answers here. Cooper Webster right now, 9/10 of a second slower last lap around, and how do you like another fastest lap of the race from Jordan Caruso? So if the ball is in anyone's court right now, it is the purple 12 car right behind in the draft of your race leader, as one driver gets out of that battle as soon as they can. Brenton Hobson, as Caruso down to the inside. A car is off in the middle of the track. They're lucky it's 3 wide momentarily for your race lead. 2 wide and then 3 wide again with a lapped car through Griffin's Bend. But it is Cooper Webster who does not come out best. We have a new race leader for the first time in this race. When can Cooper get the advantage? It's going to be right back immediately. Contact between the two, knocking mirrors off their cars over the rise at Mount Panorama. The gloves are off for your race lead. They don't care about the victory. They just want to beat each other right now. It's high stakes over the top of the mountain. And right now, Cooper going to think about a move. Gets on the brakes. Lucky to not commit to the move, because in many other respects, if it was the last lap, Cooper would have absolutely gone for it as they find their way down another car. That's Blake Purdy finding himself in the wall. This battle has allowed Ryan Wood. He is right behind these guys now. Don't count him out as a dark horse to slipstream past both of these drivers down Conrod Straight. Big gaggle of cars in front, though. That's only going to help Jordan Caruso as he gets a draft of his own. But look at this. 3 cars fighting for your top 3 spots at the moment. Cooper Webster not able to get the draft as effective as he'd like, though. He's running out of time, and the slipstream of the cars in front, I think, is just allowing Caruso to hold on for now.
Just noticing on those live speeds there, how crazy is it that they're coming into the chase at only 30 kilometers faster as they're going over the bump at McPhillamy Park. That is how quick these cars are across the top of the mountain. Unbelievable how quick, but this is a great fight. Oh, lap traffic almost got involved in it there. Cooper Webster almost made side-by-side contact there. This is crazy, and these guys are here to win.
Absolutely. We are still only 15 minutes into this race. There is a long way to go. So these drivers have a lot of pressure to hold off Josh Perwin, who did actually qualify third place. He can match these guys' speeds there or thereabouts. But sadly, an incident on the opening lap puts him a lap down and unable to challenge these guys right now. As we see a good battle between Luke Annette and Tyler Howard for 4th and 5th as well. As Ross Rizzo, the master of fuel saving, dives into the pit lane as well. So lots of strategy cards are being played, but still no sign of a safety car. So some of these drivers are really gambling with the timing here.
Well, yeah, or they're thinking at this point, haven't seen one, there might not be one. We do know that that is potential that can happen as Tyler Howard slams it into the wall. He's going to continue on like nothing even happened. Oh, as Annette has a big moment.
He does, and he slides down many spots, finds himself side by side with Sean Malloy, and Malloy finds his way through as well. So this is a great little battle pack there, and Tyler Howard pointing out right now, started in position 25.
It's happened. Cooper Webster, Jordan Caruso both stopped. Coming into the dipper.
Okay, well, I hope Simon Feigl is not watching right now, which is a low possibility because he runs this series. So what has happened here between the two team cars? Cooper hunting him. Just lost it all by himself, and in the process of spinning, he takes his teammate with him, and Ryan Wood inherits the race lead. We get another look right now. We'll go on board with, at the time, race leader Jordan Caruso, and Cooper behind. Now, what happens here? Does he get the curb? He does. Just that's an interesting one. Just like he was a little bit later on the brakes, and sadly didn't account for the car in front slowing down quite as much as they did. So for Cooper Webster, I'm going to have to say that's on you, buddy. And, well, they did say if there was any contact, they wouldn't be friends. I think right now it's going to be very hostile in the Altus Discord.
What it's done, it's meant that Ryan Wood now has a fairly substantial lead, 7 and a bit seconds. Cooper Webster decided enough's enough, I'm coming into pit. Caruso stays out, so Hobson will probably take effective second place because of this. And Webster will come out right with Christian Limbom, which will be a very, very spicy battle to watch as well.
Well, here we go. Brenton Hobson into turn number 1, and there's no point even hyping that up. That's not even a contest. Cooper only leaving pit road now. That is a long way back. Where is Christian Lindbaum apexing turn number 1 a little too far back? But Cooper Webster finds himself in no man's land after leading for so long.
Yep. One little mistake and cost so much time. And Lindbaum's not far back. I mean, his lap times have been pretty good. He's 3.5 seconds back. I don't think he's going to be close enough as Marcelo Rivera tries to make his way past Michael Ford. And Rivera and Rizzo, they were battling before pit stops. They've both pitted. They've come out together.
What are the odds of that? Marcelo Rivera is going to see if he can put on a pretty decent scrap here with Ross Rizzo and Jordan Ford behind as well. So these three drivers going to work their way over the top of the mountain. And a very old school livery on the Radical of Marcelo Rivera as well. A good throwback to Evolution Racing Australia, which is quite a few years ago now. For those that weren't aware, Evolution Racing Team did actually rename from ERA, so a slight change there, and it used to be a very bright yellow and red livery, which you see on the car, but not quite as bright as the car following him in Ross Rizzo with the paint splattered Just Send It livery.
They're back from season 1 of Just Send It, that livery that Ross Rizzo is running. A cool throwback to this series as well, from where it started from. Very, very cool livery with the stamp number plate on the side.
Saw the driver behind there of Jordan Ford just absolutely knacker the wall on exit there, so not ideal for his straight line speed in any way, shape or form, but Jordan Caruso dives into the pits, and as he does that, it means a 19-second lead there for Ryan Wood, which is very, very impressive. But of course, he's playing it very risky in regards to a safety car coming out, and when he decides to pit as well. So Ryan Wood, we'll see if it's the right call or the wrong call. We'll find out very, very soon as Ross Rizzo continues to hunt down Rivera into the final couple of corners, and a big entry oversteer moment for Rivera lucky to hold on to it, but that just means Rizzo is a whole lot closer now, and they've come out together. Oh boy.
Round 2, ring the bell.
Absolutely. So Cooper Webster and Jordan Caruso. It's going to be Cooper hunting down Caruso once again. And before the stops is Tim Mitchell just doing a bit of a sightseeing at turn number 2. I've done plenty of that in my time in V8 Scops. But for Cooper Webster, last time around, it was him getting caught by Jordan Caruso in front. So Cooper has to turn it around now and really find some pace and try and hunt down Caruso this time around. But they also need to sort of weigh up how they want to go about it. If there is any kind of drama for Ryan Wood, touch wood, then of course they don't want to fight too much because they need to get themselves as close into that battle as they can, or else they could just lose the race win entirely.
Exactly right. You've got to think about it from a championship standpoint too. Of course, this series has been about win it or bin it previously, but there is something actually to play for now. You do have to keep yourself consistent throughout the championship. You want to get yourself in good solid points haul when you can in those top 20 positions, top 20 payout points. You want to make...
Safety car has been deployed and Ryan Wood has just driven past pit entry. So we have quite the strategy battle about to play out. Now we have seen drivers pit and for decent amounts of time as well. Some of the pit stops have been around 14 to 16 seconds. So that is not enough fuel, or that is, sorry, too much fuel that you'd be able to save under safety car. So I do believe Ryan Wood does need to pit at some point here. But what that's going to do, I believe, is put the driver of Brenton Hobson as your first car to have pitted, sorry. Tyler Howard is in the pits now, but I wonder if that is entering a closed pit exit. Pit entry. What are sentences?
I knew what you were trying to say, but yes, you're right. I'd say that that'll be a rear of grid, a rear of line restart for Tyler Howard. Of course, we run off NASCAR pace car rules, so once the caution comes out, the pits close, field bunches up, and then the pits are open for people to do their pit stops. So Tyler Howard doing the biggest sin that you can do in Just Send It under safety car. Hitting when you're not supposed to, and now result in a big disastrous ploy. He was on for maybe a top 10. He's going to be lucky to get himself back into the top 20 based on this. So just seeing that Jordan Caruso and Cooper Webster, they're still racing.
Sometimes, if I had a thesaurus right now, I still would run out of words. My word. Kyle Gresh goes for a spin under safety car. We've actually seen this a few times in Just Send It. You'd be surprised. You'd think the safety car would, be safe, but a lot of the time it's a point where all the cars bunch up and just bigger pileups happen than it normally would have. But for Ryan Wood, he still is yet to catch the safety car. He'll do so in a matter of moments now as the pace car pulls out of pit exit. Can I just say unsafe pit entry or pit exit for the safety car there? Completely drove across the cones, but Ryan Wood now does form up behind the safety car. Second place will go to Jackson and third place to Luke as well. So those guys are from 14th and 9th on the grid, have made some good progress. But Tyler Howard, of course, pitted under safety car, was one of our biggest movers and shakers. By him pitting, what that does is actually puts Jackson Johnstone as our biggest mover and shaker. He started all the way back down in 52nd on the grid, finds himself in 23rd. So that's an incredible effort there. Is Cooper and Jordan, what are you guys doing?
Well, if they keep it up, they'll be punting each other. Well, that was a bit scary. Let's get away from these guys for a second and focus on something else. Let's look at the championship after last week. Ryan Wood consolidating that championship lead he's got, but now this is where the real championship starts, because 4 drop weeks we have in this championship. We're at the point now where every round really does count. So these drivers really have to pay attention to the championship. Really between 3 at the moment, but with the way the drop rounds work, that will close up over the next few weeks as well.
Absolutely, and right now with Ryan Wood having not pitted, he's probably going to drop back in this race here, unfortunately, because you will need a pit stop to make it to the end of the race. Now, I'll ask you this, Jay. Who was the first driver to have taken a pit stop?
Brenton Hobson, P3.
And who won last week's race?
Who did win last week's race? I don't even remember. How's that?
I was trying to build something up.
Oh, I'm
but it-
sorry. Ruined it on you.
Jay, what are you doing? But at
Look,
the
this
moment,
is why I don't commentate.
but right now, absolutely, the form is in Brenton Hobson's corner. He is doing a great job at the moment. And Ryan Wood, we said consistency sometimes wins championships. At the moment, it's going very well in the direction of Brenton Hobson, who was on a big run of form. Brian Phillips has just crashed and rolled under safety car. Caruso's upside down.
Oh no! Hobson
Massive
involved
pile
too.
up under safety car. What do you do at this point? And I believe the driver that hit Caruso into a roll may have been Cooper Webster. No, Caruso. Caruso has hit Brenton Hobson, put him in the wall, and then Cooper's cleaned them both up.
That was just a lap car coming through a bit too hot, and then you just... Oh, there you can see it at the bottom of the shot. Wow. What can be said?
Like I said, if I had a thesaurus, I still wouldn't be able to come up with a word to describe this. So now, Brenton Hobson is the lead car with a pit stop, but with damage. Caruso is still in position under safety car and getting pushed by Cooper Webster. Webster is punting Caruso under safety car. I don't know if we can rewind that just a little bit here, Jay. Just a couple of seconds ago, Webster was trying to unload Caruso the entire way down Conrod Straight.
Look at the rear wheels lifting off the ground every time he hits him. I'm glad they're having fun, but Simon must be absolutely ripping his hair out right now. He's lucky you shaved it off. Hey Simon. As a fellow head shaver, shout out.
I have a contract with Simon's team until 2021, so I am going to withdraw from any comment on this scenario. But as Caruso is still getting unloaded by Cooper Webster under safety car, what we'll do is they've almost had a complete Oh, Caruso's in the pit wall! Come on!
Now, I've got a serious question. Is damage turned off? Because his car looks way too healthy to have rolled.
Now that I think about
wall.
it, we've seen some big shunts and Brian Phillips is still upside down, I have to say. No one actually Eddie Beswick is also having a very bad time at the top of the mountain. None of these cars have damage though, so I've got to say I think damage is turned off, and in that case, game on for all these drivers, and it's going to be a straight out race between all of them.
Hunt for path engaged.
Absolutely. But for a serious note, while we are under safety car, what we might do is just run quickly through your order, because of course there's been a lot of change with who is pitted and who is not. And what it's done is it has put Brenton Hobson in the race lead after starting a bit further down in 4th place. Caruso finds himself in position number 2 after being turned by his teammate a number of times. Cooper, of course, our pole sitter in this race, now down to 3rd. Christian Lindbaum, he was one of the real earlier pitters in this race. He pitted way earlier than anyone else. He's now 9 laps into his stint, finds himself in position number 4. Ross Rizzo, the master fuel saver, is in position number 5. And
don't look.
I've given up with these two. Like, what do? Some people just don't learn.
All I hope is that when they do take each other out, that they don't take anyone else with them.
They absolutely are. I can guarantee
of course they are. So Rivera and Lapino, P6 and 7. Oh, Jordan Crusoe's
he's stuck in the wall! He's stuck in the wall!
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, just unloaded, bang in the wall. Yep, stuck. See ya.
Josh Perwin spun onto safety car as well. I have many questions.
Can I just ask how the team chat is going right now? Because there'll be some interesting
Discord,
words.
Altus Esports, I have 400 mentions.
So let's change that order again. Christian Lindbaum now P3 with Cooper Webster P2. Ross Rizzo in 4th, Rivera in 5th, Lapino 6th, Jekyll 7th, and Tyler Howard in 8th position, as they've just changed positions somehow. Sean Malloy in 9th, and from being spun twice on the first lap, Mitch McLeod is into 10th position.
That's pretty incredible, and I think half of these drivers that are inside the top 10 have been upside down at some point as well. So this race has been something else. We've had damage turned off, and I've got to say it's made quite the difference, and I absolutely love it.
Hey, good
But,
news! Good news!
He's done it! How on earth has this happened?
I don't know, but he's going flat out to get that spot back.
Does he have the time? I think he does. I think he's got the time to get back to his spot as well, which will be ahead of Cooper Webster.
Will he just come on and punt Cooper Webster off the track as they go green?
Yes. Absolutely yes.
Oh my.
Okay, I'm going to go to far chase and just wait for the purple radical going at 100 kilometers an hour.
Here he comes.
We're both silent. We're both too eager to find out what's going to happen
We
here.
both know what's coming.
Here he comes. John Cruz.
I was just far.
Oh,
That was disappointing. He's got his spot back though at the perfect time, so let's go green.
I'm going to talk to Simon. I want Jordan out of the team. No. He's let us all down there. Brenton Hobson. Somehow, Jay, you wouldn't believe this. There is actually a race going on at some point. And Brenton Hobson has just gone to the green flag. We're looking at 6 laps to go if they're fast, potentially 5 if there's a little bit of battling as well. And Hobson leads them away. Second is Caruso. Third is Webster. Drivers off and rolling. That is a decent carry. That's some decent mileage there on the roof of another car. Another one hard into the wall as well. Daniel Yeaman was one of the cars involved in that. More spinning. Just complete.
Ryan Wood
call that?
plus 10 spots in the restart.
Well, that's because there's probably 10 cars off the road.
Probably, but even still, enough another one. So, and Jordan Crusoe's already taken the lead away from Brenton Hobson while we were watching that spin at turn 1, or that mega accident at turn 1. So the race at the front is on, and Jordan Caruso is gone.
He is trying, isn't he? But the draft is so powerful around this circuit that if Hobbo can just stay even slightly close, the draft is such that he can probably get all the way back alongside Caruso before the braking zone of the chase. The cars are so fast across the top of the mountain that I reckon they're even getting a slipstream benefit across the top of the mountain through the corners as well, because I don't believe these cars would produce too much dirty air effect. So for these drivers, they can really push in the slipstream everywhere around the circuit as Mitch McLeod's championship hopes take yet another knock, finds himself in the gravel. We get a replay up on screen as well, and right now it's looking like this could be a solo car incident. He is following the driver in front, but we'll see what happens there. He clips the curb, and that's a big slide and bang into the wall. Man, I hope he wasn't looking at the screen too heavily, because that was a lot of spins in a short amount of time. Now, he ended up in the gravel trap, and that is exactly how he's done that. Wow.
Sent to space there. He's continuing on, which is good to see. So Webster to get through on Hobson into the chase. So that is position swap. So Webster hunts down Caruso again. If I was Hobbo, I'd just stay and watch these two fight it out, because you know that at some point they're going to take each other out.
Absolutely. At this point, I'm happy to say that Hobbo has a guaranteed victory. Like, this is just, there's going to be a contact, there's going to be a crash, and there's the first part of the contact. Where's part 2? It's coming eventually, as these two go side by side down Mountain Straight. Webster is just going to try and get the side draft. That's a very powerful side draft, and powers immediately back alongside Caruso, but here comes Hobbo 88. He thinks about it, won't quite stay with it though, as Caruso fires up the inside at Griffin's Bend and will hold the place for now, but intentions made from Cooper Webster to try and find a way past. 4.5 laps to go here at Mount Panorama, and clipping the inside wall there is Cooper Webster, trying to take too much of an apex, and it all got away from him here. But the more that Webster and Caruso fight, the more it keeps Hobbo in this battle, and he can just, like you said, sit and wait and take advantage when it all goes wrong, as a car is off in the gravel trap there.
I'm not sure who that was.
I think they're actually just spectating.
Maybe at this point, just sitting back watching. I'm going to say too that Lindbaum isn't too far away, so I think they're going to take one real big brake checkup from these guys, and Lindbaum's back into this fight, and he's got Ross Rizzo and Marcelo Rivera right there too. So, oh, Cooper Webster definitely hit the wall there, hit the inside wall coming through Boris Salvo.
Yes, indeed. So he's feeling the pressure a little bit, feeling like he has to maximize every millimeter of the circuit and sometimes a little bit too much as well, does Cooper Webster. But look at the draft on these cars. He was some 8 or 9 car lengths back at the exit. He's going to have a go here under brakes into the chase. Side by side, they will go. And as easy as you like, it is Caruso down a spot, Webster up 1, but the exit speed is with Caruso. The inside will be blocked from the driver of Cooper Webster. And Caruso can do nothing about it, though. He breaks on the preferred line. Can he get the exit this time? Yes, he can. And it's going to be a good run into turn number 1, but he may as well sit and wait because there is a much better opportunity coming out of turn number 1. You get the best possible exit you can. I think the better exit there was actually Cooper Webster, but now they will go down in the slipstream, down Mountain Straight. Daniel Yeaman has found himself in a little bit of bother, though. We'll see what has happened here. The driver who was in 29th place, and Ian Quast as well. Oh, that is a bad one for Ian Quast. And Daniel Yeaman out of the race as well. So those drivers, sadly, not having the best of luck today. And Nick Scaraju in the pits as well. So lots of retirements in this race, which is a shame to see. And look, oh, McLeod again. That was a big hit for multiple cars.
It's crazy how one little mistake exacerbates into many, many more. I guess that's the thing about not having damage on the cars. Sometimes you take the risk of just plowing through an incident and seeing if you can get through it safely. I've got no doubt that that's what some people are thinking when they're driving in as hard as they are. And I mean, you can see from Caruso and Webster the way they've been playing this race that's how they've been thinking it too.
I think that's what you've got to do, isn't it? It's just if you see a crash, well, the right foot's there, but it's not lifting. And just see what happens. See if you can chance it through. Because if you do, there's 5 or 6 spots potentially gained right away as Cooper Webster leads this race at the moment. Will he be able to lead it at the end of this lap? Jordan Caruso now in the draft as well. And you are right. Look at Lindbaum and Rizzo and Rivera. They're really closing in on the top 3 now. They are not far away at all. 8/10 of a second is the margin as Caruso darts to the inside. Side by side to the chase on the curb as well. There's Caruso, but that was all too easy. And no real defense at the moment from Webster. They're just passing each other one at a time as Hobbo off into the grass. Lucky not to spin. Here comes Lindbaum. Can he make an advantage into the final corner? The answer is no. But Hobbo on the back foot here. What's Lindbaum exit? See if he can make anything happen in Hell Corner. If not Hell Corner, maybe Griffin's Bend. He'll try turn number 1. Late on the brakes, but not late enough until the last moment. And, oh, clears him beautifully on exit. But what he's just done is given Hobbo the slipstream once again.
And based on the current pace, there's now only 2 laps to go as opposed to 3 because they're fighting so hard. They've actually slowed the pace of the race down. Lindbaum, the fastest car on track by a fair margin out of this lead group as Caruso nearly goes to make a move. And have a look how wide Lindbaum ended up there. And here comes Rizzo to get a move done on Lindbaum.
Oh no! On Rivera! Oh, big contact and up and over goes Lindbaum. Lands on his wheels. And massive crash there. And one driver make that 2 drivers sent skyward up and over. Matt Lapino was one of them as well. A big accident and Barbie's going to need 10 right now.
Have a look at who got through that just. Brian Wood. And he's going to get another spot, so he's up into 6th.
Teach me your point scoring wizardry. That is all I have to say. How does this driver, through all the chaos, all the carnage, all the drama and bad spots he's sometimes put himself in, find a way to score points? That is ridiculous.
Even if there was damage on, he would have got through that okay, like somehow. That was crazy. I don't know how he got through that, but he has, and he's into 6th. I don't think he's going to make up too many more spots, but then again, there's these 2 at the front. He could easily get these 2 right here.
Absolutely, and we'll see how this goes as Caruso he doesn't want to lead on this final lap. He does not want to lead any longer than he has to. He's going to sit and wait. And remember what happened last time we were here at Bathurst. I'll set the scene for you. It's the championship finale, or the season finale for Just Send It. We were in the Ferrari GT3 cars. On the final lap, it was Job Stewart, Cooper Webster, and Jordan Caruso fighting for the win. And Caruso outbrakes himself and takes out Jordan Caruso on the last lap. Now, 5 weeks later, we're on to the final lap. Caruso is in 2nd, and who's he behind? Cooper Webster.
Across the line with 1:59 left, so this is going to be very, very borderline as to whether this is or is not the final lap of the race. Caruso gets through, but I don't know how long he's going to stay there. He's got Jono bike off just ahead. Haven't seen much of Jono tonight. Good to see him back out and just send it. But Caruso, he's going to have to work hard to hold onto this spot. And the way that the cars behave, and we've seen it many, many times, mainly with these two again, is that you get a little bit unloaded by the car behind. The car in front is absolutely a passenger because there's no rear wheels on the ground.
Exactly. So that's one thing that I suppose Cooper Webster has in his arsenal, so to say, is that if he wants to, he can pick those rear wheels up from Jordan Caruso and turn him into a temporary motorbike. But for Caruso right now, I don't know if I'd like to be Jordan Caruso in all honesty, leading onto Conrod straight on the final lap. This is a tricky spot to be in, but we'll see how it pans out because if I'm honest, my timing screen right now is not suggesting this is the final lap. If they do cross the line, it will be by no more than a second they will have made it. So we cannot actually say if this is the final lap or not. But what we can say is Webster is closing and hunting down the driver in front. Will he be able to pull up alongside? He's almost running out of rev limiter there. He's just struggling. To the outside he will go, not able to do it. Through the chase and on the power. And it's going to be so tight with the clock. But I've got to say,
I think this is the white flag now.
I don't know. It's going to be so tight. But right now, it is Webster behind Caruso. No, it's one to go. There's going to be one lap to go. They cross the line. White flag is thrown. And this, I believe, is the final countdown. The final showdown. Do not discount Brenton Hobson or Ross Rizzo Rivera a little too far back. It's a 4-horse race, but right now, it's the Altus boys, Webster and Caruso, pushing each other almost literally down Mountain Straight. Under brakes into Griffin's Bend for the final time. On the power, they will go. And Webster bottoms out a little bit, almost skates into the wall and loses time as there is traffic in front. Daniel Yeaman could provide a big, big break for Caruso if he gets a draft down Conrod Straight, but I think Yeaman will pull up the white flag and pull off a little bit earlier as well. So Caruso's going to have to fight his own fights here. Has extended the margin, actually. A car in the wall. Ian Quass in a massive accident on the final lap here. We're on board with Brenton Hobson at the moment. And do not discount him. And I think at the moment, Yeaman might actually get involved in this battle here. He's still in the way of these two drivers. We'll see what happens here as they find their way through Forest Elbow, and Caruso not quite going to get held up on the exit here, but he is going to give Caruso a slipstream. So this is hurting Cooper Webster right now. Webster wants Yeaman out of the way. This is killing Webster's chances. We'll see which way Yeaman goes. Yeaman holds the left, and that allows Caruso through. So Webster running out of opportunities. Big crash, thread the needle at 260. Where does Webster go? To the outside. He thinks about it. Late on the brakes. Contact between the two. A car is rolling in the background, but I think it's too far back for Cooper Webster. Another car front flipping in the final corner. Big dive from Webster. Not able to do it. And it's redemption. It is revenge for Jordan Caruso. He wins a 20-lap thriller here at Mount Panorama ahead of Cooper Webster and Brenton Hobson.
What a race that ended up being. Ryan Wood's going to come home in 6th position in the end.
How?
in 7th, I don't know. And Chris Owen in 8th, Andy Carey in 9th, Jackson Rahana in 10th position. Mitch McLeod looks like has DNF, so no points for him tonight. I'll tell you another driver we've been talking about, Ryan Wood and Cooper Webster, Jordan Caruso, Brenton Hobson. Ross Rizzo is not out of this championship fight now either.
Oh, that's impressive. They managed to upright a car. But no, absolutely. Ross Rizzo, let's not forget, he won in the Chevrolet Corvette C8R at the Nürburgring and then backed it up with a pretty good result in the previous race as well. And now with a 4th place, potentially almost a podium, 0.8 of a second off your race winners there. So Rizzo buying his way back into this championship, but the person who takes the most championship points is Jordan Caruso. He wins by just over 1/10 of a second over Cooper Webster. Brenton Hobson, another podium now. Hobbo is just collecting points left, right, and center. Rizzo in 4th, Rivera in 5th, and Ryan Wood, a miraculous 6th place there. An incredible result there. Jay Cool in 7th, Chris Owen, the high downforce master of Australia in 8th, and Andy Carey and Jackson Rihanna in your top 10.
Rest of the point scorers, Emerson Harvey and Matt Lapino 11th and 12th with Jordan Ford. Christian Limbom recovers to 14th position. Aiden Brand, Jackson Johnson, Xander Antoneef, Ryan Bell, Scott Callahan and Kobe Williams, after ending up Skywood turn 2 lap 1, finishes in 20th.
21st place, and your last driver on the lead lap is Tim Mitchell. And then we get to a very large run of drivers who sadly ended up a lap down. That includes Jonathan Boykoff, Sean Malloy, Daniel Yeaman, Matthew Hansford Tyler, Jamie Yaros, Mitch McLeod, Tom Wilkinson, Brian Phillips, Luke Annette, and many, many more, almost 3 laps down at this point.
Yep, so Perving, Kwa, Beswick, Newell, Gray Evers. Whoa, there's a car flying through the air. Tyler Howard. Well, it's just John Kwa, so we've got the 2 Kwas in tonight. Cohen, Robertson, Grek, and DeBono, Purdy, Aish, Hal, Francis Gall, Cody, Price, Russell, Shooter, Chickasvara, and Simon Black.
Well, there we go. This is a very, very dramatic race here at Mount Panorama. It's week number 5 of the Just Send It series, brought to you by Logitech G, Custom Track Art, and Own 3D Graphics. On behalf of my co-commentator and director, JK Kennedy, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you next week. This is fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's going around the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taking Anderson. Anderson's up to
Oh
him.
my god! Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's gonna get involved!
Second very close. These guys are want to make their way through the field very quickly.
Oh, here we go! Oh no!
That's massive! This is it! This is over! I can't believe this! Oh my god!
God, what?